A very good morning to Madam Alia. My name is Esther Hee with matrix number D202010951114. First of all, I will be presenting about the author, Shirley Hardy Jackson. Shirley Hardy Jackson was an American writer born on 14 December 1916 in San Francisco, California. Shirley Jackson was well known for her work of horror and mystery. Her debut novel entitled The Road Through the World in 1948. She had composed this novel, 2 memoirs, and more than 200 short stories. Shirley Jackson attended Syracuse University in New York and involved with University Literary Magazine, and she also met her future husband, Stanley Edgar Hyman. The short story that we chose is The Lottery, written by Shirley Jackson in the year of 1948. So next, I will present about the introduction of the short story. The short story is about a fictional small town that observed an annual rite. On 27th of June at about 10 a.m., all the villagers had gathered, and the children also had collected some stone to make a pile in the square. The preparation for the lottery has been done by Mr. Summers and Mr. Graff on the day before the ritual. The slip of paper that will be used during the lottery has been folded and placed in black wooden box, which will be stored safely in the safe in Mr. Summers' office. On the day of the lottery, every head of extended family are required to draw a slip from the box. However, the slip only can be unfolded when everyone has drawn. When Mr. Summers told the head of family to open the slip, Bill Hutchison had been chosen as he obtained the marked slip. However, his wife, Tessie, protests as she feels that it was unfair. Bill, Tessie, and their 3 children each draw a slip as a final drawing, and Tessie obtained the marked slip. All the villagers start to grab the stone that had been collected earlier and threw it at Tessie as she obtained the marked slip. At the end of the story, Tessie was stoned to death. As we can see, the lottery wins out in the violent death of its winner. All that's left is the execution. Based on the poster, we have provided to you the storyline, which is exposition, conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution to help the readers more clear on what the story is all about. So that's all from me. The next poster, which is about the theme, will be presented by the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Wahida binti Abdul Ghani, and I'll be presenting the first theme, which is Power of Tradition. Tradition is a belief or principle of people in a society that continue to follow for a very long time, and tradition is the backbone of every culture and civilization, and it is passed down from generations to generation. In the story, there is a tradition that villagers follow that demonstrate the persuasive power of rituals and tradition for humans. The lottery that pick a random name each year to be stoned by the villagers, including family members, just like how Tessie was killed through this process. She was stoned by who she thought her close friend, family members, and children. The lottery is actually a bizarre tradition that culminates in violent murder each year, and the villagers never understand why this lottery tradition was held and how it will help the villagers. The preparation of the tradition may seem harmless, but they are actually committing a murder. It only brings pain and anguish to the family that lost their loved ones for a meaningless tradition, even though they also participate in the stoning after the name is picked randomly. The villagers did not stop to question the tradition among them and continued the barbaric tradition without any guilt. That's all for me. We will continue with the next presenter.
Thank you very much. My name is Gregory Xavier Anajaling. So right now I'll be presenting the next theme, which is the human nature. So what is human nature? Human nature can be regarded as positive, capable of compassion and goodness, which distinguish between humans from a savage beast or savage species. But human nature also has a dark side, which is cruelty, and just like any other beast, it is capable of barbarism. Now, in The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, Jackson delves into the principles of human nature, questioning whether or not people or human are capable of violence and cruelty, and how the society can hide and channel or amplify those natural inclinations. Now, throughout history, philosophers have pondered the fundamental basis of human nature, and the question has always been whether humans are fundamentally good or evil. So in The Lottery, Jackson emphasizes the significance of human nature, which claims that humans are socialized from birth to do what they're taught. Given the lottery's violent character and its long-standing practice among participants, each following generation must undoubtedly become accustomed to the violence and cruelty that it demands. The children's collection and guardings of the stone implies that they were preparing for the lottery's outcome and perhaps anticipating playing it as if it was a game of dodgeball. Now, the death of community member at the end of the lottery event had a little effect on the adolescent who had become accustomed and desensitized to violence. Another one thing that also emphasizes the significance of human nature in The Lottery is the act of ignorance and cowardice by the villagers. Now, there is basically no one in the town speaks out against the lottery before a name is chosen. Tessie Hutchinson did eventually speaks out when she was singled out, stating that it isn't fair and it isn't right. But it was too late for her. The other villagers are clearly relieved that they were not chosen, and they speak to Tessie from a safe distance, assuring her that they all accepted the same fate and the same risk. It could have been anyone. So despite the fact that other aspects of the lottery's ceremony have been lost or abandoned over time, they still remember to use stones, implying that the lottery's fundamental and homicidal act had remained an enduring human custom. Even for David Hutchinson, her own child is given stones to throw at his own mother, and other small children assist him in gathering the stones for the rite. So according to Jackson, the prevalence of violence in children is even more compelling evidence that violence and cruelty are intrinsically part of the human nature. So that's all from me, and I'll be passing this presentation to the next presenter. Thank you very much.
The next theme is family structure and gender role. The lottery organized around the family unit in the first round, where one member of the family selects a folded square paper from the box. Then, if each family is already holding a paper, all of them will open the paper together. The family with a marked paper will redo the draw, but now with each family member in that family should take one paper. The one who got the marked one will be the winner of the lottery. From this part of the story, we can see that the ritual uses family unit to determine the chosen one at the end. This enforces the importance of the family structures, at the same time creates a hierarchy within the structure, which is the one that emphasizes the importance of gender roles. The hierarchy within the family structure can be seen in the part where only the man of the family will represent his family to draw a paper. If there is a problem to the man involved, only then the wife will draw for him. Even so, Mr. Summer will still ask the wife, do they have any grown-up boy among their children? Then if they do, the grown-up child will draw for the family. Other than that, grown-up girl in the family who are already married will follow her husband's family for the lottery. By connecting this male-dominated social structure so closely with the basic operation of the lottery, Jackson subtly critiques it. She shows how such a social structure leaves no room for anything but the normal, socially approved family. It has no space for the non-traditional family, a single person, or a woman in a position of leadership. Jackson also critiques such a homogeneous social structure through Tessie's fate. Tessie is the prominent figure in the story, and her popularity and self-confidence are clear from the start. She makes others laugh and speaks up more often than any other member of her family, but then she is the one destroyed by the lottery. Tessie is a confident woman who speaks out vehemently against the lottery. so this makes her a threat to the status quo, and the ideally symbolic victim of this story. So Jackson is clearly drawing a line between the social place of families with their male heads of households and unfair distributions of luck, and the emotional importance of family ties, which is a private matter.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Shahira binti Muhammad Idris with metric number D202010955107. So I will present the last theme, which is the juxtaposition of peace and violence. First of all, I would like to give the definition of peace and violence. So peace can be described as a concept of societal friendship and harmony within the absence of hostility and violence. Meanwhile, violence can be described as a use of physical force against oneself or against the community, which end up leading to injury, death, and deprivation as well. Hence, peace and violence are two opposite things that have been consolidated by the author in this story. Next, I would like to give some examples to clarify these themes. At the beginning of the story, the author described the village with such a beautiful details and warm tones such as flower blossoming and kids playing, which is completely contrast to the violent and dark ending of the story. Other than that, Jackson also shows us the characteristics of the villagers at the beginning of the story that seems to be reasonable, ordinary people that only concerned about their daily life. But as we go through the story, we will realize that it wasn't like that. How can these ordinary men, women, and even kids can do something that I can say inhuman things towards someone, such as the things that happened to Tessie. This event clearly defined the themes where the juxtaposition shows the complexity of human nature that may be both kind and cruel, and it also reminds us that the evil does not necessarily come from outside force, sometimes it's come within ourselves. And to conclude, I would say that The Lottery is such an amazing short story with unexpected ending and of course have a plot twist. And I would say that through this story we can gain a lot of meaningful lessons, such as something that has always been done doesn't mean it is beneficial and should be continued. Yes, of course, such as this bizarre, cruel tradition of the lottery. So, and yeah, don't forget, the most important thing is don't simply judge the ending just by the beginning of the story. So I think that's all from us. Thank you and have a nice day.